Coming up, last night created so many historical moments. Let's dive right in. The chat starts now.
Here we go, and it goes a little something like
Hey!
Monday!
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to the chat. I'm joined by my chat sisters, Bonnie and Angelia, today. Happy Monday, ladies.
I feel like we're the two
Happy
Smurfs
Monday.
on the end on this Monday.
Yeah.
I feel like we're little Smurfs with a Smurfette in the
Look,
middle.
I used to love the Smurfs, so let's not even go
everybody
there.
loves the Smurfs. I love the Smurfs.
Before we get started, we're kind of actually expecting some bad weather, so we're going to toss it over to Tim in the Weather Center for a quick update.
All right, so the Smurfs and Henny. Why am I smiling if it's bad weather? Well, no doubt about it. Henny is right on in that, yes, we have thunderstorms. Thunder implies lightning. Lightning is always dangerous, and these thunderstorms are pretty intense right now over Camden and Glenn County, headed toward the northeast. We'll hop over the rest of northeast Florida and southeast Georgia to show you thunderstorms will begin to increase. Keep your eyes to the southwest. However, remember, this is needed rain, folks, and this is going to be the first of numerous rounds of needed rain on the way. It could be that area-wide by Thursday morning, we're going to have about 2 to 4 inches of rain, and that's on top of the big rains that hit the swamp fire about 8 days ago. So at least as far as the rain we needed and the fires that we're going to try to hopefully Mother Nature will try to prevent and the few fires to put out, this could be good news, but occasionally some of these storms will be strong. We'll keep you updated really through Thursday morning.
Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate you. So now we're going to talk about the Billboard Music Awards. There were so many fantastic moments. My boo, Drake, stole the show, taking home 13 honors, including Top Artist, Top Male Artist, and Top Rap Tour. Now, those wins lead him to beat out Adele's record for the most Billboard Awards in a year. Cher, oh, we can't forget about Cher. She was honored at the ceremony with the Icon Award. She actually performed 2 of her classics that had everyone on their feet. And to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the release of My Heart Will Go On, Celine Dion performed the Titanic anthem as clips from the movie played behind her. Everyone is talking about her performance last night, and just reading this has me with goosebumps. She was
Phenomenal.
oh
Phenomenal.
everything about her was just phenomenal.
It was angelic. I mean, she
Yes.
looked like a little angel in the
Yes,
center of
yes.
that center last night. I mean, the outfit was
Oh,
one thing.
yes.
The Swarovski crystals coming around, but her singing that iconic song, it just gives you goosebumps just
did.
thinking about it.
It
But
did.
it was an amazing performance. I loved it so much. Cher I loved too, but I mean, this was the steal of the entire
Didn't
show.
did you hear her say that the producer or the director didn't want a song in that movie? And she actually said, I kind of agree, it didn't really need a song. I can't imagine that movie without that song.
Oh, wow, yeah, yeah.
I really can't.
The chandelier.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did they get that? I mean, that thing is massive. Looks like it weighs a ton of weight. Like, I mean, her, like you mentioned, her dress, I mean, her whole package. There were so many people in the audience that was crying. Vanessa Hudgens had a hard time recovering
yeah,
after
she
that.
did.
It was,
Yeah.
it was one of those moments for sure.
But it was
really
nice to see such a versatile group, because I mean, there was Drake, there was Cher coming in, there were so many people honored, there were so many new up and coming stars. But the coolest thing of the whole night, I mean, watching the show, you know, I mean, a lot of these kids, I don't know who they are yet, but there was one group in particular, and they're called BTS.
Oh,
And I don't know
yes.
if anybody's familiar with them, but they are a Korean pop group. So they call them the K-pop group. They're 7 cute guys. I mean, these kids were adorable.
They're not cute, they're pretty.
They were pretty.
There's a difference.
That is
There's
so
a
true.
difference.
And that's what everyone
Shade.
online is going nuts about today, because they are, everyone wants to know their skincare
Yeah,
regimen.
yes, I
they
do.
were best dressed, best skincare. They were like,
Yes.
Skincare.
They
Oh,
were
their
across the board
faces?
amazing.
Oh, my,
These
yeah.
kids coming up, they were amazing. But the reason that they made it on this show last night was because of an online petition that was put together, because they wanted these boys on there and honored. They beat out Ariana Grande,
Yep.
Justin Bieber. They beat out every single pop icon that we have in the U.S., and they beat them out because of what they sing about. They sing about bullying issues and mental health issues. And I had not heard of these kids, but I definitely paid attention last night. As soon as they called these kids on stage to win, the audience went
Oh my gosh,
bananas.
I was concerned. I'm like, what
I was
is
like, who
really
are these people?
happening?
So I had to look it up and see exactly who these kids are, because I'm telling you, they will be the next 7-kid
Oh, I see
Justin
it.
Bieber group.
I see it real
I
easy.
love them.
But can we talk about
The fashion?
Cher.
Cher.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
71 years old. She just turned 71 on Saturday.
But one of her outfits, I think, was the same one she wore. Like there it is.
does.
I think
Look
she
at that.
she dragged that out of the closet. I
She
think
looks,
she had that-
she looks amazing at
I was back
71.
on Halloween. That was one of my Halloween costumes.
The fact, the
couple
fact
years
that
ago.
her head could still hold up that big old wig at 71, I mean, I want that wig.
Well,
that was
you know,
very nice.
She's had
but
a little
kudos to
help.
her.
Wait. She's had a little help, don't you think? A little.
Well, you know,
plastic
when
surgery
you're
help?
Cher,
I mean,
you can have whatever you want.
Who
No,
cares?
that's true.
It's hers.
She does a good.
Yes.
It's hers, and she
Yes.
rocks it. And
Yes.
she looked amazing.
And here's what else I learned from watching these awards last night. Full disclosure, I had no idea that Vanessa Hudgens can sing.
I didn't either.
That girl can sing. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? And one of my favorites of the night was Bruno Mars. That is
Always steals the show.
my
That's your man.
favorite. That is my man. I need him to lower those ticket prices, though. Hey, Bruno, your concert tickets are too expensive. Come on down a couple of notches. However, what I really admired about his performance was that there were no female backup dancers during his performance. I love that because I think female dancers are kind of getting played out, and I kind of strongly dislike the way women come on as backup dancers. They're half naked, showing their booty, doing the booty clap, whatever you want to call it. I think we're way past that. Well, we need to be way past that. So I really commend him for not having female backup dancers. Another great performance for me last night was Drake, performing in the middle of the fountain of the Il Bellagio. Now, you know, Drake don't perform a whole lot on television. So this was like a huge, huge moment. So I was really pleased to see that. But like you said, the BTS guys and John Legend and the Florida-Georgia line, sorry, y'all. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that was a flop,
I
too.
kind of got stuck on the fashion of it. I mean,
Why am I not
feel like,
surprised?
well,
You're a
it's like-
fashion lady.
and I'm not. I feel like I'm pretty progressive. That's the new word for liberal. But I mean, really, what's next? Nudity? Seriously, you know, whether it's just the bra, I forget who it was, it had just the bra on, and everything was sheer, and you see everyone's like undies under their stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
is that
yeah.
weird? I mean,
There's your girl, Rita
there-
Ora. She
yeah, there
shows
she
buns
is.
for days.
Look at that.
I
All
like
right. Well,
big
what's next?
butts.
I'll tell you what's next. Somebody who didn't get a lot of praise over the weekend, Vice President Mike Pence. Take a listen.
Michael Richard Pence.
Well, dozens of graduates at the University of Notre Dame walked out of their commencement ceremony in protest when Pence started to speak. Thousands of students had signed a petition asking the university not to invite President Trump, so the school instead invited former Indiana Governor Vice President Pence to speak. Some of the students who walked out, they say it was because the Trump administration's stance on immigration and LGBT rights. And this, of course, isn't the first time we've seen students do this in a graduation ceremony, but what did you think about how they treated Vice President Pence? Any thoughts? I'm sure there's lots of thoughts on this panel.
Well,
Start with it, Bonnie.
well, you know, I think it's their right to do that. You know, you saw a lot more of it, I think, like in the 60s. But last week we talked about Bethune-Cookman, and there are a lot of colleges that are inviting what now we consider controversial speakers because there is just this total polarization. So even when you looked on Twitter, there was most of them were either, completely for it or completely against it. And I know we have a couple up here. So Jared James, oh yeah, congrats to Notre Dame students who walked out on Pence at your own graduation. You're the worst America has to offer for our future. That kind of, not very nice. Sherry said, grads who walk out on Vice President Pence, great start to being grown-ups, hashtag childish behavior. And then there was another on the other side saying, respect to all who stood for their opinions. Nobody can put you down for that. And I was particularly taken, I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course, but this was Just Basic Dave, who said, you should know that they're not snowflakes or sheeple. Of course, I didn't know what a snowflake was. Full disclosure. Just learned it.
Thanks, Trent and Angelia.
Thank you, Just Basic Dave. But he's saying they are committed to Notre Dame's ethos of compassion for the marginalized and to the university's mission of fighting for social justice, and they did not believe that Mike Pence represented that. So I think it's their right to do. I think that they did it in a respectful way. A lot of people felt like Bethune-Cookman could have been handled better. We talked to the granddaughter of the the founder of Bethune-Cookman, and this is really striking a chord with students, and that's our future.
Yes.
They should speak up, and they should feel passionately about it, so I'm happy they do.
And that scares me that is our future, because how many times on a daily basis do you disagree with somebody? Think about how many times.
Well,
in just
now,
one
right
day.
now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Are you walking off this stage because you disagree with me? Are you turning your back on me because you disagree with my thoughts and my stance? No, we're having an educated discussion. And the thing is, these are children that are going to grow up in a society that thinks that it is okay to walk out of your job, out of your parents' home, out of anywhere in society because you disagree with somebody. I could never, ever in a million years put myself in a position where I did not like someone so much that I turned my back and disrespected them and rudely turned on them to say, you know what, I don't agree with you.
Well,
I'm leaving. I think that is so
was given
rude.
back to you, you have to understand those kids stand though. They have a reason for doing it. They feel very strongly about it. So
There's many times in life that I feel passionate
they
about
have that
things.
right to do it. If I feel, even if I'm at work and if something's going on at my employer and with my employer and I am so against it, if it is against everything that I stand for, and if it is affecting me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I gotta go. Yes, I will go because that is my American right. Now I gotta have another job to fall back on. However, those students, they have the right to do it. That is their God-given American right. They felt some kind of way about it. They did it. Kudos to them. Now, you know what's funny is that when the students at Bethune-Cookman did it, online on social media, they were called everything but a child of God. So much hate came to those kids. But for this, for Notre Dame's, it was a little bit more tame. I wonder why.
Well, so looking around a little further, I guess what concerns me is that I discovered that there are two far-right think tank / foundations who are putting a lot of speakers onto college campuses, and I feel like causing the rift. I'm not saying about Mike Pence because I don't think that was the case, but it was the case with Ann Coulter. And so a foundation called the Young America's Foundation have formed over 250 foundations on college campuses and high schools where they train these kids to how to react to the media, how to introduce their guests. So they provide provocative speakers at the far edges of the right. They've got millions, multi-millions of dollars. 16 million was donated by a dentist.
A dentist had $16 million?
Yep. Other donors included Pet Sajak, novelist Tom Clancy, Richard and Helen DeVos. So they're causing a lot of disruption. And Ann Coulter at Berkeley, recently, they canceled it at Berkeley, which both sides, even the liberals said she probably should have spoken. But she was funded by the far right, one of the far right think tanks, and they paid her fee. So I don't know. I just feel like that's wrong. I think it has to come naturally, or why are they forcing that to happen?
I hope more colleges are like the other college that Mike Pence spoke on Saturday. It's called Grove City, Pennsylvania College, and he spoke there, and they do not accept federal funding, so they aren't the puppet master of anybody, and they don't accept that. So they're a religious school, and they dance by their own dance. And I hope that more schools actually step up and they actually use their own funding, and therefore they can push their own agenda. So
And for the record,
academia has changed society forever. So
for the record, I'm not a snowflake. I'm just sorry. I refuse to accept that.
Well, before we go, we want to remind you that you can watch us on the go now from anywhere, anytime. All you have to do is download the First Coast News app, scroll down to the chat page, and you can join us from wherever you are.
And you should do that often, absolutely. So after the break, as adults, we have weight conversations with family and friends very often. But when is it okay to have that talk with young kids? Our expert shares her tips with us when we come back.